Hello guys and welcome back to Tomato GFX Level Up Series Part 14, and today we are going to talk about the color panels we have in Illustrator, and we will be talking about them in depth. So let's start. So welcome back to the magical world of Illustrator. So today you might be seeing some differences in our UI, and that's because I have changed the preview mode or the screen type to full screen mode. And if we switch to normal screen mode, this is the normal screen mode we have. And full screen mode, it will be just the empty panel we will having and the tool we will selecting like this, and pressing ESC will reset it to the normal mode. The shortcut for normal screen mode is ESC. And jumping into presentation mode, this will be the presentation mode when you have some artboards drawn and you have a presentation going on with the client. So these were the screen modes. So let's switch back to our full screen mode, and I'll be docking out some panels over here so we can just watch these panels differently like this. So here we can see we have these color options on our panel. These are the first options, so I have docked out them for better understanding. So if we create any shape and we have an active fill or active stroke here, we can just change the color with this panel, and you would be noticing that if I change color here, some changes are done here. So I'll be discussing that in a bit, and for now we can just understand the color panel over here. It has a hex value. We can provide it a custom hex value like 000 FF for blue and FF000 for red. These are some custom codes I knew from my graduation. And you can just change your color mode here. Like if you want to change it from RGB to HSB or CMYK, you can notice CMYK spectrum is kind of a dull colors. So depends on what color you are working for and what you are making. As if you are making a print material, you should go for CMYK. If you're making some digital stuff, then you could go for RGB. And you can just invert also. Like if you are clicking now, you might be finding some inverts. Let's suppose I'm just clicking on blue over here, and now to invert it, it will be inverted equally like here. And if I click on complement, it will give me a complement color of chosen color. Like for green, it will be pink. So you can choose that, and you can create a swatch here with the color you want. And these are global swatches actually. Color type are process colors and RGB, web colors, and lab. You can set your colors according to you. For now, I'll be setting a color like blue, and here you can see we have a color added in our swatches panel. And if I created some shapes over here and now I change the color like this, it will be changed in every shape we have used the same swatch. So swatches are that necessary. So we can create swatches from this color panel over here, or you can add swatch by this button here. So you might be noticing that this is a very basic approach for picking colors, and some people need a more specific approach to choose colors. And for that, if you're choosing a mode here like CMY, HSB, RGB, for now I'll be just switching it to HSB. And now if I click on show options, here you can see we have HSB, hue, saturation, brightness of that color. Now I can increase or decrease the brightness, or I can increase or decrease the saturation and change the hue. And if I select RGB, it has a different settings over here, red, green, blue, and you have the RGB values over here or hex code over here. So you can use both the modes according to you. If you want the show option mode, then you can use this, or if you don't want the show option mode, just normal RGB colors, so you can use that. Suppose that's always according to you, because Illustrator is very customizable. So after that we have swatches, and swatches are very useful for making patterns also. But for now we will be talking about firstly colors. And in base, you will be getting these 4 lines at base and these grayscale and these basic colors. That's because these are the basic complementary plugin colors. Or you can click on this button to erase the swatch. That's similar to this button over here, but Illustrator gives you a freedom to work from anywhere, like from here or here also. You have this button, and this is a swatches panel in this. And in swatches panel, you have a ton of options, like you have a system colors like Windows colors here, or you have some celebration colors like this. These all are celebration colors. And we have some color books like this, Pantone CM by K Unlimited, some pre-created presets for you, and you can check them out. If you like them, you can use them, and I recommend them to you. But I also recommend the web colors we have on Adobe Coolers or Google, because you can find better color palettes there also or here also. That's depend on you. And the second option here is open color theme panel, and that's a color theme panel over here which is connected to Adobe Coolers. This is Adobe Coolers color theme panel, and this will be connected to your Adobe color theme, and you can extract colors directly from there. After that, we have selected swatches color group current library. After that, we have show all color swatches, and we can set a filter for everything we want, like gradient pattern swatches. We can just find pattern swatches here, and show color groups. We can find color groups here. So for now, I'm just setting to show all swatches because we don't have all the different swatches or custom swatches in the new document. After that, we have this option button where we can customize or change the swatch. Like if you are just using a red swatch in every element in your design, and you just want to change it now, but you cannot change it by manually because there are too many shapes in your artboard, you can just click on the swatch and change the settings like this, and it will be changed to the selected panel. And here, this button, we can change the swatches settings, but this is not a useful, I guess, because if you want to change the colors, you have to click on this global button here. So we have two red boxes here which are created with this swatch, and if I click on this, click on global and then change the color, it will not change the color right now, but it is global. So if now I click on everything we want to change and we change it, see, now you can see we have two red boxes, dark red boxes, and now if we click on them and change the settings, we can change it globally in entire file. And these global swatches are very useful in your Illustrator journey. So always check them out and use swatches in your designs on custom. And one more thing about swatches is if we create a shape here, we can create a pattern with this shape. Like we just drag and drop it here and then double click on it, and here we can see all the properties about this arrangements and hex shape. We can increase the size and width between the spacing, and this is how you create patterns with your swatches. And you can create the same thing with the effect here. Like you can just click on this, and for that we need a different pattern here. So I'll be clicking like blue, then going to object, then going to pattern and make pattern. And now I can create a pattern similarly with the swatches options like this. So this was a hidden feature in swatches panel, and you can just make a pattern according to you. So this was about swatches. We can create folder, add or delete swatch. This is a basic technique. And after this, we will be going to color guide, and color guide is the same thing I have teached you in our color theory class, and you might have seen so many type of analogous, tridal and complementary settings in that. So it is same like that. We can find out the shades and tint of a specific color. We can choose the color from here. Like I just want a complementary color for purple. So it will be giving me a complementary color for purple. But right now it's set monochromatic and I'll be just clicking complementary. It's giving me a complementary color. So we don't need to go to Adobe Coolers for some small stuff. Adobe make it very easy for us, and we can just get all the settings of Adobe Coolers here like this. Or we want some web colors over here. We can increase or decrease the saturation or brightness and hue also. And this is how you work with Adobe Coolers in Adobe Illustrator itself. So for monochromatic, you have this option. We have different shades for every color. And once you click on OK, you will have a swatches group here to use and very easy for you to add palette. Now, sometimes you have created a palette like, for example, I'm just creating this palette over here and I just want to add this palette to this swatches panel. So I can just click on this icon over here and a group will be saved with all the swatches I want to add. Or you can just use the preload textures over here, and you can also use the preloaded colors over here. So as you can see, art, ancient, you have these colors and this palette, and you can add this palette over here. This is all similar to that Adobe Cooler website I told you about, and you can use every function over here, and you have lot of option different than that website, and more immersive experience and more easy to use colors complexities, like you have tridal, tetrad, high contrast, pentagon, so many things. So do check them out and share your experience with me. So this was all the panel about color, and we can just close it out and dock it back to where it belongs, so we can use them later on in our series. And after these color palettes, we have brushes we have talked about, and these symbols. So we can just add symbols like this, drag and drop and move clip graphic, and we can add symbols like this, and symbol tool is here to create symbols. That's easy. Or we can, and after symbol we have stroke is very easy. We can increase and decrease the stroke with here. So in next class, we'll be talking about gradient and transparency panel, and they are very useful. So don't miss them out and stay tuned. Take care.